to another episode of XN Interviews. I'm your host, XN. Joining me, as always, is JX. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited to have our guest on, someone who's a fan of the comics, the lore of the game, and I'm pretty excited to introduce him.
Absolutely. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, it's Knullspace, number one Null fan.
Heck yeah.
Hi, how's it
Glad to have
going?
you on.
Thanks. Great being here.
Yeah. Um, things are going up, I guess. We're right around the corner from Ant Man and the Quantumania. That'll be fun. Can't wait.
Very excited.
But yeah, first question: what kind of got you into MCOC, and do you create content for it?
I don't create content for it. Mostly just trying to make the space the positive. So just like hanging out, and I'm a big fan of all the content creators. Um, got me into it, honestly. I would have to say that I downloaded the game probably within the first few days it came out, like way back, and I stuck with it for a while. I got a four-star Electro, which I had no idea what I was doing in the game, and honestly thought the only way to play was doing arena because I really didn't know what I was doing. I had never really mobile gamed. I had been a MMO player before I'd done that, so I kind of got bored and stopped playing and started playing MFF a few years later. Watched Cynic Alex. Alex talked about Seaton one time. Seaton's videos led me to everybody else's videos, and from there it became my new game and the game I play now, and it's been a great ride.
Absolutely. Uh, Jay, you got a question over there?
Yeah. So, what made you choose the Knullspace username?
So I really like, I pick a character that like I connect with, and I base the online persona. So previously when I was playing Warcraft, I had a character named Castiel. uh I was a fan of
Yeah,
Supernatural.
I was about to say that.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was a fan of Supernatural. He was introduced. I was doing a server transfer and a name change to join a new guild. My name was taken, so I went Castiel, and everybody in the guild lost their mind because it was the new hot show, and it became my name. So I was Castiel for a while, and then I've been an avid comic fan for years, and Null, Donny Cates introduces Null, and um, he became, the epitome of this like scary thing in the dark, which is just the coolest thing. So yeah, I heard he was coming to the game, and as soon as he was introduced, I grabbed the name as fast as I could, and have completely devoted myself to the King in Black.
I love it.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Um, so who are some of your favorite champions in game?
So I actually prepped for this one because I had a feeling. So I broke it down really easy. So for Mystic, Juggernaut has been my goat in the Mystic class. I mean, people will claim, Doom or Claire or anybody else, but what they did with Jugs has been, incredible. He is so user friendly, but also incredibly powerful. I mean, I guess now everybody knows because of the new challenges. But I mean, I used them to do, the Gwen Master, and
Oh yeah,
I couldn't do that fight. I was stuck on that fight until I got him, and he just makes that fight a non-issue.
yeah. I
He
did the
doesn't
same.
know the note or anything. Yeah, just completely ignores it. So Juggy was my goat. Because I'm a fan of Null, such a fan, I appreciate those that can counter him completely. And also, I happen to do a path where Null is always on my path if he's not the war boss. So Punisher 2099 is my favorite tech. I think there's a lot of techs that might be able to do certain jobs better, but Punisher is the perfect champ for just control. And then he's got a great killing SP2. So really, really powerful champ. Love him. And Daredevil Hell's Kitchen is probably the smoothest champ you'll ever play, hands down.
Okay. So you were talking about Punisher 2099. What do you like
Yeah.
about Punisher?
So Punisher has, he has this battery charge. So like, if you don't even need to synergy him up. I use him a lot when I do BGs. I don't do them very often, but when I was doing them, I would use him a lot to deal with Null, or I would bring him before. I would bring my Mole Man or someone like that to counter Null. Because if you can stall at the beginning of the fight, synergies make it faster, make it last longer, easier to access. But if you stall enough at the beginning of that fight, that power control, that once that battery fully engages, um, you kill anything pretty much as long as you're high enough rank versus a high enough rank before they get any power to do an SP1 even. So there's just that complete lockdown and reliable armor break, and you can keep that power control up with the SP1 rolling. It's very, 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 very safe playing, and I think that's probably the same reason I like Jugs, is that safety that now is included in him, where if you play right, you control it.
Okay. Very nice. Yeah, I haven't ranked Jugs up yet. I have him as a 5-star. I don't have him as a 6-star, so I feel like I'm kind of missing out. Everybody's jumping on the Juggernaut train.
I,
Absolutely.
I would recommend. I think I recommended it recently to someone who was talking about needing a recommendation for a chant to get through Act 7 something, and I said it would be best to use a 6-star, but if you're gonna rank any 5-star and you really need a good one, Jugs could be worth it. You don't need to awaken him or put Sigs. If you're gonna do 5-stars, he's really useful almost always, and he's a good kitty counter too. If you just find you need one, he can counter kitty like in BGs and really throws people off. So he justifies his use in a lot of areas.
Very nice. Yeah, I believe that was you were talking to me on Twitter about
There you go.
for accent.
Yeah,
So,
there you go.
yeah. Jay, you got another question over there?
Sure. Char actually asked, do you have the tech collar mastery unlocked, dash maxed?
I don't. I've been bad with my masteries. Like, as whaley as I've been in this game, yeah, and I know it's like not the best thing. I really prefer crystals than masteries. I've unlocked like a bunch of them. I've been convinced by Twitter to do coagulate, and I'm going to do my resonate, and I'm going to do the other one on that path, which I can't remember. I can't remember what the next one is, but I'm going to do those, and then I think I'm going to start working my way through Tech Collar and probably all of them, just because I've never done it before really, and it might make them more fun to play. But generally, I like my mastery setup where I don't think I could spare the points, and he doesn't need it. I mean, if I had them, I think it might be the most broken power control I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw what was it? Collar tech use on Vision in the Summoner's Choice, or not the Summoner's Choice. What was it?
Showdown.
Yeah, Summoner Showdown.
Oh
Yeah.
boy, I could see that being really cool.
It was Happy McMuffins, I believe. Yeah, he was using
I mean
Collar Tech Mastery.
that makes sense. I mean, I've watched some of that man's videos, and that's one of the things about some of these content creators or just people. Like, I didn't know who Happy was before the showdown, right? So like we got to learn about these people and seeing more about him. I've learned a lot from him. He's very, very good.
Absolutely. I've been learning a lot watching the Vega Battleground tournaments as well.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those are some really high skill level of gameplay in those tournaments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It inspires me to be better at BGs, and I will never be.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of Battlegrounds, the season just ended. Did you get some spicy rewards out of Battlegrounds, or did you participate at all?
So thank goodness for my alliance. They carried us to whatever that 30% bracket, I believe. I participated for 2 matches. I tried to push myself to do it even for the quest, but honestly, one of the things I promised myself when I stopped playing like video games hardcore, I stopped raid leading, was that I wasn't going to do things that I don't enjoy in video games. There's a reason why sometimes it takes me so long to do content is if I don't think I'm going to have fun, I'm not going to push myself too hard. This is a game. So the BGs last season were really unenjoyable. Like I went in with a really stacked deck and I knew what I was doing and I still was having a really bad time. Like even if I was winning, it didn't feel like a fair win. So I'm really excited for this season. Really excited. This looks like probably the most fun season yet. It looks like the most bring a good group of champs, play well, and you actually could have a good chance of winning as long as the modders aren't in the way.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. What were some good things and bad things that you really had throughout the last season?
Well, as I said, I did very little, but I just found that even though I saw growth, I saw a lot of people doing better as the season went and they were learning it. I personally found that there was just a little too much niche. I really like playing a lot of my champs. I like being able to bring in whoever I feel like playing at that time. And this meta that we had to deal with was bring in these champs. These champs will consistently get you wins. And then, yeah, once you got to the higher bracket, like the Gladiator bracket, it kind of opens up in a different way. And it feels like it was a lot more, from what I saw, a lot more champs were kind of in the meta as opposed to getting there. So,
Right.
yeah, that was kind of one of the things I didn't enjoy, and I didn't really learn much from that, honestly. I watched people learn, but like I said, I didn't push myself too hard, and I recommend people don't copy that. They learn from it if they want to improve. I just I have a little bit of leftover. Just I don't want to do it leftover from leading and doing all that for years.
Okay. Um, so you said you're excited for the next BG meta. Um,
Extremely.
yeah. Who do you think is going to be some top contenders in the new meta?
I think Void. I think Void's going to be probably one of the top defenders, and I'm really excited because I was able to dupe him recently.
Nice.
So I think him. Um, I think Immortal A Bomb. Pretty much, you start throwing up just people that can reduce that damage more and start whittling you down as you're trying to attack into them. That's gonna be good defenders, and I'm personally just really excited for burst characters that just take them down real fast, get in, get out.
Okay.
That's my favorite part of the meta.
So you're talking about like Ghost Rider or Cosmic Ghost Riders and
Yeah,
Talents and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Um,
big bursts, and I really, I'm maybe one of the more um, controversial takes. I'm excited, and I kind of just want them to do more with relics right now. And I kind of really am excited to see. I got a couple new ones. I want to see what they're like in BGs, and there's. I think there's a lot there. They need to do more with that right now, but I think there's something there, and I think that BGs is a good place to explore that. So that's one of the things I'm really testing right now is to see what that really does to the champions. That's the most variety of fights you get.
well, yeah. I mean, I really think Battlegrounds is a good way. Like, if you're stuck in a piece of content that has these like nodes attached to it, it's a good way to go in and practice. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Jay, you got another one over there?
Yeah, so obviously we like recently we had the big news with the Summoner's Choice. So what's your thoughts on Gladiator winning it?
I had a hot take before we even did this interview on Twitter. Um, and I'll stand by it. I personally am really excited. I wasn't Team Gladiator. I haven't been. I have a lot of friends who are very, very, very Team Gladiator, and for them, I am thrilled. Like, I'll be honest with you. There's a part of me that when I saw some of my friends share why, I wanted to vote them, but it's for the same reason I was like I wanted Echo. But the kit really comes down to what I get interested in, and the idea of another cosmic. Like, I don't use Hercules if I can avoid it. I respect Hercules. I love him. I'm thrilled I have him. I've been able to take him to rank 4 multiple times. I could have taken him before Knull or Gallon, and I don't think I'm going to ever take him up. Like, I love him. But I don't like the one does everything champ. And I'm worried that might be Gladiator. But I could be wrong. And I hope I'm wrong. White Tiger seemed more interesting. I love Tigra. I don't assume she was going to be like that. But very cool character, more females. I'm very pro female champs in the game. I think it's ridiculous how few we have, honestly. But we're getting better, so I like that. But honestly, I really, really think it'd be funny. I'll say what I said on Twitter. Wouldn't it be funny if Gladiator has the more complicated kit? Because everybody thought it was going to be White Tiger, but wouldn't that be funny if that's what they were telling us from the beginning? Like, don't pick the one you think's going to be difficult because we're tricking you here. And Gladiator is going to be really hard.
That'd be pretty ironic.
I think it'd just be hilarious.
That would be interesting to see.
Kabam's listening. I think this is a good idea.
Right. So you said you voted for Echo. She lost the first round. Who did you vote for in the second round?
White Tiger. So I went in immediately for. See, I kind of got cocky here. I thought Echo was going to be really popular. I don't know why. I thought. I personally really did. I was super surprised how fast she was out. She's like a really interesting character. She's disabled. I share that disability. She's deaf. I have deafness, so it's really interesting. I thought she had a unique take on things, but she was out. But I had went 2 on her, 1 on Marrow, 1 on White Tiger. Loved Marrow. Marrow, from the moment her heart got stabbed through and ripped out, I've loved Marrow in the comics. I was always excited to see her in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. She was fantastically mediocre, but she was awesome. And she's such a cool character, and it's a sad, grotesque power, So there's something really cool about that. And then I went White Tiger, and I stayed White Tiger. Because as soon as I heard a little bit, it's another female character, and she's person of color, which is also awesome because I think that we have a minority of that too in the game. And generally, it was just a very interesting character. I thought it would be the one to go with, but like I said, no hard feelings. Gladiator, super excited.
A 1% margin. Still insane to me.
Like it's so close. They're like, I can't be angry. I can't be upset. I'm just thrilled that so many people voted for this. It seems like some people think relatively unknown character, which I don't think so. I've heard of White Tiger for years. The game that the show they keep saying she was introduced in, which fine. It's not a recent show. Yeah, it was a big show, and it's not that new. People are talking about the Gladiator Juggernaut moment from the show. I remember when that aired the first time. It was a big thing, totally.
Yeah.
But, it's in my lifetime too. It's not like this is a very, very old comic. We're not talking in the 60s, the 50s. We're talking, these are more recent characters. Let's go with whatever we get. These are all both niche. Let's get them.
Yeah, hopefully White Tiger joins anyways.
I really hope so. I would love to see it because her introduction would give more Hell's Kitchen characters an opportunity. And I don't think people realize. But that also leads to Bullseye too.
Yeah, for
That
sure.
would be
Yeah.
that'd be pretty sweet.
Though we don't have a Hell's Kitchen anymore since it got destroyed by Galactus.
Right.
I mean, yeah, which means they're all going to be coming out of the woodwork soon. We're going to be seeing them all. I mean, with Jess popping up and becoming
Oh,
attainable,
finally.
that was.
7 years in the making.
I mean, I'm lucky. This is not intended to be a humble brag. This is honestly one of the things that I kind of wanted to come on and say. I thought about it as soon as I came on here, or I got the invite to come on. I think they need to make her more available because she's fantastically designed. She's one of the best designed characters I've ever played. She's great, and people need to be able to play her more. I
Yeah.
know that they put a 4-star in, or 3 and 4, I think,
Hmm.
were available. I think they got to make the 5-star more available, or at least because she's so good, and she's such a fun character to have because she really completes the set of your characters and the synergies, and it's very cool. So in no way is this meant as a humble brag or a brag. This is honestly a plea. Let's get her out there more because she's very good, and it feels like they put a lot of work into her. So I hope more people get to play her.
You're talking about Sigil Witch?
No,
Jessica.
Jessica.
Jessica
Oh, I
Jones.
hope Sigil Witch gets
Yeah.
like we had that event, and I hope that's how Jessica gets like another opportunity to come out because that was actually cool, right? That was free to play friendly.
Hmm.
Great. I think that's a huge thing. I think that we need more of those too.
Yeah, we have Thanos, King, and now Jessica and Weapon X all in the gifting crystals. Like that's a little too crowded, if you ask me. I think, like you're saying, they should make more trophy chants more available, or at least like we have Labtron still in lab. Like there's permanent content you could put these champions in. Hopefully not two end game, but it would be pretty nice.
I mean, even if it made it like, I'm not saying this is the way to do it, but if they're going to introduce or keep this, the sigil store is something that I think is it's a great idea. Um, but I've played other mobile games while playing this game. You know, this became my standard, but I tried out other things, and other games have the ability to earn the the premium long term like grindy crystal or currency, but it's at a very slow rate. And we've had a couple opportunities, or two arenas, I think, in like an event to get a couple sigils for free to plays. And I would think it'd be cool maybe if in some fashion, I know it's like one of their subs, so I doubt it'd be a thing, but in some fashion, it'd be cool if they could do a slow rollout and maybe move some 5 stars of these premium collector champs into like the sigil store because they're giving them away. I mean, I saw most people get a 5-star in my alliance, and not everybody was open whale amounts like I was.
Yeah, absolutely. I would totally agree with that. It would be super cool to see some of these champions rotate in and out of the Sigil store.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have like I've had a theory that Jessica, or not, well, not Jessica, but Sigil Witch eventually won't be a Sigil Witch anymore, and they'll rotate like that. Like because when they first announced her, they were like she'll be available free to play, and so I assumed that would mean she'd be going to free to play after a year or two, and then
me too.
be
Yeah,
replaced. So Jessica would be a cool thing, or we even have that Deadpool from Marvel Realm of Champions. Like we have the spring cleaning event, and maybe he infiltrates the sigil, and it's his sigil now, and maybe he can like you can spend stuff that way. I think it'd be interesting. Kabam have lots of avenues they can go down.
I hope they explore it. I mean, they are. I want them to focus on the things that need to be worked on. Right, I have no, complaints. Honestly, I'm very happy. I think bug fixes are coming in as they need to. It feels to me like they're figuring out the parry bug. Like it feels better than it's felt in like a couple years to me, honestly.
Hmm.
So I'd be positive, but I feel like some of these really cool ideas, I just wish they would not forget about them so much. You know, there's a couple rewards that should get buffed and stuff, like just a little bits here and there that I think if they just made tiny tweaks, just tiny tweaks, there'd be just so many people that like would feel maybe just seen a little bit. Like I don't think that's should be the top priority right now, just because there's, they're rolling out new stuff, working on BG bugs and this bugs and those bugs. But I definitely think like a little bit of love to the sigil, a little bit of love to free to play in some way, switching around some characters here and there, just doing some stuff like that. Because like the sigil's great. It's a great little store. It makes you want to sub to it. I mean, I've been sub to it for like a couple years, and there's times where I don't play and I don't sub, but generally, I don't know what to do with my sigils right now. Do I just buy 6 stars or what do I
That's
do?
what I do.
Yeah, I get what
I
you're
don't want
saying.
to spend them because if they ever introduce a new person, then I'm like, well, I wasted them and that
Yeah,
FOMO.
I think I might
And
start
it's,
doing that.
yeah, I mean, it's Sigil, which is, she was one of my first rank threes. She's a fantastic mystic. It's again, another character I wish more people had. I remember when they were doing the arena, and actually I was watching Rich. He was talking about doing the arena. He really wanted the character, and I believe he this is when he went free to play. So it's just watching how much people want her and how many people were excited. I would love to see that become more of a thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And even Yusafa saying like the black ice off the market itself, like totally should get a buff.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I it was fantastic when I was Cavalier, and then when I hit Thronebreaker, it was pretty great. And I'm Paragon now. It's okay.
Yeah,
It's fine. Like I'm not complaining. It's still I use it. I'm still sub to it. But again, I'm sub to it for those sigils because who knows? Maybe we'll get a new sigil character, and that's kind of one of my weak points. I'm definitely part of their prime marketing when it comes to. I don't. I like getting the cool stuff.
yeah, I'm a collector as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Um, so you said you're a Paragon. Have you completed everything in game, or what do you still have left to achieve?
Goodness no. I have done as much as I've needed to get Paragon. I I did. I think that since I got Thronebreaker, I went really fast. Like I got through content pretty quickly. Like the push from going like I'm decided I want to get Thronebreaker to actually like becoming Paragon and getting all my rank fours and doing all the things I need to do to get there. It actually progressed much faster than I thought I was gonna. Um, I'm gonna be honest. I was motivated. I happened to be doing it with someone at the same time, Quest guy on Twitter. Dude was kicking my ass, so I had to pick it up. But I really got motivated. Um, I don't know if I'm supposed to go. I kind of want to go into everything with as much of the fun. So I'm waiting for relics to maybe hopefully be allowed into places like Abyss and stuff like that to go in and do it. But I feel like Abyss run's coming up soon just because I want to push myself. I'm less interested in the newer stuff because I'm happy in my alliance. They're not making me push very hard. I'm not looking to push higher. Rank fives will come when they come for me.
Hmm.
Um, I'm kind of enjoying myself, and I'm interested to see what the new chapter in the act is going to be. So I'm less pushing the cutting edge and more looking for the fun. If there's some fun lanes, though, I'll definitely go back and do them.
Okay. Jay, you got another one over there?
Yes. If there was one character you'd add to the game, who'd it be?
So I've been like trying for a while to think about this because I've debated like I look at my wife sometimes. I'm like, would you help me if I like would you help me like write out a character concept? And I've had a few really cool ideas, but generally, I think that I'm kind of a big mutant person, but also I think it'd be cool if we added the non-mutant mutant. I'd love to see Mimic come in. I
Hmm.
think he'd be a really unique character. Um, it feels like Absorbing Man, and a lot of the other shifter characters are coming in. So I feel like Mimic could come in. I'm a big fan of variants, as you might know from my, you know, talking on Twitter. I love the idea of multiverse and variants. I'm a big fan of the Exiles,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that mimic would be such a cool introduction because, goodness, can you imagine? He just like takes the you just using him, and you're like fighting Red Hulk, and all of a sudden you're like, do a light, medium, light, or whatever, and or a medium, light, medium, and you get his big red hands. And you start doing a little incinerate damage or something. It'd just be a fun little cool character, I think, that might introduce some cool stuff.
Yeah, he'd be cool. He was on that the Days of Future Past screen with Legion. So one day, man, one day.
Yeah, I'm hoping. And now, honestly, I the only reason I don't push as hard for Legion is because I know you're pushing for Legion. I love Legion. I actually wanted to ask you, and I was going to go on Twitter and ask you, but this opportunity came up, and I wanted to ask you, what's your thoughts on the show? Should I check it out? I hadn't had the opportunity yet.
Oh, really? You haven't seen it?
Mm-mm.
It's
The show's good.
yeah. The show's good, and I still find people to stay saying it's like the best Marvel show ever, which is insane if you think about it. It's super fun. Like it doesn't you don't watch it as a superhero show. Like it doesn't feel Marvel at all. I mean, as an X-Men fan, you'll definitely feel it. But
Yeah,
it's really good. It's really trippy, and they have a lot of fun like with the cinematography and the
as it should be. That's perfect. That's kind
yeah
of what I want to hear
yeah
because it's supposed to be, this guy's reality is not our reality.
yeah exactly. They did such a well job understanding the character, um, and very
Aubrey Plaza.
yeah she is so good.
That's awesome. I mean, both of you have you both are have my two favorite characters that I would love to see added. Like, I push hard for Bill every day. I push hard for Bill.
Absolutely.
I was Team Bill. I was pushing Lag last year to vote for Bill. I was pushing Mike. Mike was voting already, Bill. But I was begging every creator, please vote Bill. And seeing him not be there, and then hearing that they said they're not there, it could mean that they're on their way. I feel like Bill's on his way, and I can't wait for that. My main guy I'm wanting to come. He's coming, and I can't wait.
Oh, yeah. He's coming.
Yeah,
Maybe not this year, but
yeah
maybe next year.
the earliest we
Definitely,
could see him is this year, but I think for sure he's next year.
I think so too. I think he's coming next year. I feel it. I feel like we're going to be seeing Stormbreaker, and I can't wait because I'm a synergy boy, and those synergies are going to be incredibly cool
Yeah,
because he's one of the coolest characters,
he's been
and
in
he
all
just
the
opens
teams.
up. He's been on
Yeah,
every team, and he's been
as
even on like
Guardians, Guardians, Omega Flight,
he's been on the Annihilators, like
Annihilators. Yeah,
our new guys coming in, and he's going to have a synergy with Silver Surfer, and he's going to have a synergy with Bill
Yep.
because that's the Annihilators. I think Ronan too.
yes,
Defeated
Yeah,
Galactus. He starved Galactus from eating before.
and
yeah.
Quasar.
I just want to see if they continue to add God characters. Will we get like Surtur and stuff like that? Because if we do, then we get like a Twilight Sword synergy with Bill. We
Yeah,
could start seeing some
we fight on top of
crazy
it
stuff.
in the Muspelheim arena, the fighting stage.
Yeah.
I got. Oh yeah, I'm excited to see what they're gonna add. The idea of what do I want to see? Oh, I didn't expect to love Hitmonkey. I love Hitmonkey, and who knew about Clairvoyant? I mean, yes, Jay, you probably knew about Clairvoyant, and
Yeah,
Gabe
but it was
probably knew
very
about Clairvoyant.
niche.
Yeah, and I mean Vision Argus. I mean, okay, I got one for you. This is the one I really want. I want OG Marvel Boy
Okay.
from
Okay.
Uranus. That's who I want with the bracelets. That's who I want with the mind control powers. I think he'd be very cool because he could link into. Remember the old school Avengers that they introduced in Avengers Forever that became canon?
Yeah, I believe so.
I think that'd be cool because that would give us the monkey guy, Gorilla Man, I think.
Yep. Gorilla Man. Hell yeah. Um,
There you go. There's my big answer.
So you're clearly into comic books.
Yes.
Which character do you think is more tuned to their comic book counterpart? You know, like champion to comic book counterpart.
I think it's going to be a really simple answer. I think Hyperion probably is someone who I look at and I go, this is the same guy who I read about when I read about Squadron, or he makes me think of King Hyperion a lot. He never touches the ground, right? Like he's always floating.
His heavy attack he touches the ground, I believe.
Okay. Well, even then, I mean, he's just
Oh,
floating there the whole time with his arms crossed. And like it's just this I'm better than you atmosphere. And it just like I said, I love the exiles. Like when I think about Hyperion, I think about King Hyperion, I think about the run on exiles where, you see him sitting there after destroying the world and you see him afterwards and he's just standing there like this and blinks there. It's a very I was surprised he was in this game when I came back. I was so excited to see him, and his powers are accurate. His lack of need to interact with you, to be able to kill you, is super cool and super on point for him. Because he's not Superman, right? Like he's powerful like Superman, but he's always a little disinterested in you. You know,
yeah.
I think that's what my answer would be. That or Wolverine, because you can't kill Wolverine in the comics. Dude always comes back, and I can't wait to fight a 7-star Wolverine. I think that's gonna be fun.
Just shut him down with was that you can shut him down with pretty much anybody with a heal block, but like Omega Sentinel or Nimrod.
Oh yeah, but I mean, like, I'm talking like you challenge yourself. You go in there with like I don't know who's not. You go in there with a superior Iron Man. Someone's
Yeah.
gonna post a video of that, isn't there? So we're gonna get a video of that tomorrow, aren't we? Someone going into realm and killing them with superior Iron Man.
Goodness.
I'm sure MSD's done it with the 2-star.
You know, I've said it before and I'll say it again. This is said with all love and respect for that man. But he makes me realize that I can't do the things that he does. And it makes me feel better about playing. Because when I see how he plays, I go, I can't do that. So I'm not even supposed to think I'm going to do that. And it lets me feel better. Like I see a lot of people shame themselves about revives. And I think people think we're supposed to be MSD. I don't think people realize that like MSD's been playing this for a long time. I remember gaming when I was a kid. My reflexes are not that. I know we play with a lot of guys who are former military, and we have gamers. We have all these different people in this, and I guess every single person, once you reach a certain age, you gotta admit to yourself, my reflexes are not what they were. And MSD's in its prime, lag's in its prime. The fact that we got some of these old dogs, and I'm not even mean that in a mean way, but like anybody over the age of 30, in my opinion, is an old dog at this point when it comes to like high reflex games, which this is all flick and finger movement. So that's high reflex. Of course, these guys are good at Fortnite and stuff. This is the same kind of mentality. And they are amazing at this. And that is so impressive. Nobody should have any bad feelings that we're not them, because in a good way, they're like impressively kind of freakishly good at this. And I give that the most respect, but it's okay if we're not them. And I hope everybody realizes that. More and more, it seems like people forget this new EOP really bummed people out. And people should not be bummed out. Revives are okay to use if you can afford it with money, and if not, go farm arena.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Or you could just farm. What is it? 326, 3.2.6 to get all the revives.
Yeah, I
Yep.
mean, prepare. Like, I will tell you the thing that bummed me out the most. I watched I kind of have a decent community now. Like, I found the MCOC community, and I've really been careful of who I follow. And I follow a lot of people, but I'm careful. And I really don't let people follow me if I don't like what they're saying. So I've really tailored a great community for myself. And so many people I really like who play in this community were so, they didn't realize what they were getting into. And they'd have to leave. They spent money because they weren't prepared. And I wish we were a little better at being able to tell people, prepare. We have some great creators and they always do. But we should put more way into making sure the community knows. Don't just rush in because this content is, we are not those top people, right? So like the content is made to be hard. You know, I played as a raider. We didn't one shot every boss the first night. You know, you went in, it took you 6 months to maybe get the full clear. And then you went back in on hard mode and you took another 6 months to get the clear. You know, it's okay to work on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just slow burning my way through Act 7.
Yeah,
Or
same.
Act 6.
It's how you do. You enjoy it, you know.
Act 7.
I'll tell you when you get to Act 8, I will say I hope not to steal a question, but I will say Act 8 is probably the best content this game's ever made. By far, I had fun from the beginning of that first chapter to the end. Every part of it. I didn't even matter like all the nodes that some people were saying niche. I have a wide roster, so for me, yeah, that wasn't that much of an issue. But I was bringing in characters that like, thanks Noob, like mcoc Noob. Well, he's fantastic, right? Like mcoc Noob he's so useful and so helpful and so good at this. So he was telling me who to bring in, but I would bring in other niche characters like Howard or something like that if they're not recommended. And they just have so much fun on these weapon nodes. I can't wait till you guys get to do it. I want to hear everything.
For sure.
Yeah. So have you completed all the story content? The or I'm sorry, the Act 7 and Act 8.
I haven't done any full exploration besides Act 8.1. That's the first time I've ever done a full exploration of content that was current. Like I've done Act 4, I think I did Act 5, but Act 6 and Act 7 I haven't done. I haven't done most of the variants. I've done a few of the variants full exploration, but honestly, eventually the rewards weren't kind of as worth the time investment. I want to go back in with my Deadpool now that I have one, because I got lucky and I was able to get a 6-star Deadpool from not the last event, but the one before that. I was able to get one, and I haven't had an opportunity to take him in, but I really want to see what he's like in that mercenary variant, because I'm hoping it makes it really fun, because it wasn't really that fun. And I'm hoping playing with the character that's supposed to go in will make it a lot more fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I got a 5-star and I awakened him. So yeah, I just took him to rank 5 and leveled him all up. I'll be doing the same here shortly.
Oh, that's awesome. Have you been able to sync all the SIGs in them?
No, not yet.
I think that might make him better, right? Because that seems like it scales.
Okay. So I'll have to pump him up full of 6 first.
Well, I mean, I would say take him in and give him a try. I haven't really even tried. Like mine's just leveled up. He's not even past rank 1 yet.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to give him a try, and I'm gonna probably take him to rank 2 after next season's rewards. Or I'll use the gem I just have in my inventory. I don't know. I don't really plan out my rank ups very well. I don't know if you guys have noticed that with Twitter.
No,
I kind of just go like, all these characters today.
Yeah. That's pretty much how I feel. Like it's just whoever I'm feeling for that day. You know, if I feel like ranking up a tech champion, I'll rank up a tech champion. If I feel like ranking up somebody else, I'll just go somebody else.
I struggle so hard with tech.
Yeah, tech. The only tech champions I have at rank 3 right now are Guillotine 2099, Guardian, and Ultron.
I have a few. Those are good. Like, those are all really good techs, and there's a lot of good techs. Like, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I don't like saying a lot of bad things about champs. Like when someone says, "Oh, I got this," I'm like, "Hey, that champ's really good with this synergy." I like synergies. I used to remember gear like really well from games. You play RPGs for long enough, you start memorizing whatever you need to memorize real fast. So synergies are something I'm actually really good at remembering who's with who and what they do. And for tech, especially, I think they have some of the cooler champs. Like I said, Punisher 2099, Guardian, Mysterio's really, really underrated. He's so good. Ultron's buff was fantastic. Penny, Omega, Nimrod, these are great champs. But it
Absolutely.
feels like we've got a lot of then it kind of goes kind of drops off really severely. Like we've got a lot of other good champs I didn't mention, but there's a noticeable drop in power. It feels more significant than the other classes, right?
Yeah, I get what you're saying when you're talking about like Darkhawk or even Captain America, Sam Wilson or
Well,
Vulture
I
or
mean,
something
I
like that.
personally don't have Sam, and he's one of the ones that if I get the opportunity to get him, I'm gonna rank him up to rank 3. I haven't decided if I would use a generic, but I've been saving a class for iDoom. I would use it on Sam. I buy the tech bundle or whatever, the tech crystal every day. Like every day it's up. And I'm trying for Sam. I think he's got a lot of potential, but I hear mixed messages. Um, but yeah, like there's iDoom, there's Sam, but I don't know. Did we hear anything about Shuri? I really want her to be great,
I
but it
haven't
feels like there was
uh,
almost no content created about her.
Yeah, I was actually saying the same thing the other day.
Yeah, like I I've been thinking about it, and the few creators that have spoken about how she potentially is one of the strongest champs in the game. And I see that. And I see in this similar way that recently I was talking to somebody on Twitter, and I'm gonna forget the name because as my bio says, I'm perpetually stoned. So my memory is bad. Um, but we were talking about shock damage and how there is very few champs that have resistance. There are more coming than there have been more in the last little while. But she might be really strong. We just didn't hear. And I just don't know if that's people are less excited about her. The other champ was more exciting, or was she a
I
dud?
still didn't really I didn't really hear much about Tuma either. I
I
don't
can
know.
tell you about him.
Sweet.
I'm a
Um,
big fan of Atuman. He's
okay.
he is not a fantastic champ, I'll tell you that, but he's a blast to play, and I'm really looking forward to the day I can spare 186 nine times soon for him. But when I can, him at rank 200, he's going to be so much fun. He's got some of the coolest animations I think in the game.
Oh
His
yeah.
water effect. If you go in and just play the 5-star, 3-star, 4-star, go into hydration, max hydration, beautiful. Like the water effect falling off of him, his splashing, it's really gorgeous. It's some of the cooler effect. Um, he has some of the higher potential, I think, to do really good, annoying Max Sig. He probably is more annoying than Korg, in my opinion, or has the potential to be. He can get shut down really easily, but I don't know. On the right note, I think he could be more annoying than Korg because his damage really scales up, and that reflect damage scales up. And at one point, once it's all scaled, he's hitting you with all that damage all that time. So if you wait too long, there's no waiting it out. He gets harder as the fight goes. So I could see like if they ever make EOP or something like that with him, we're in for trouble.
Yeah. Um, yeah, Mr. King's saying in chat, Shuri has a big ramp up for damage, but it takes very long.
Hmm.
She has a ton of things when you look at it.
Yeah, the kit looks really good. I was looking through it earlier, and I mean, there's a lot of potential. I'm a big fan of anybody who can block unblockable. Anybody who can do that, I love them.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I mean, I guess it really does. I love resistance in general. Based on what he's saying, love resistance. That's another thing. Jessica, like I was saying, she's got this. Has anybody fought her besides in the event quest? Have you happened to run into a starred Jessica in the wild?
Not in the wild.
No, no.
The resistance unblockable, unstoppable combo against the wall is you don't take damage. So like there's like a lane that I did in 8.1 that I posted about where she's I think the best counter now. Didn't make sense. But like yeah, it's another one of those like these abilities that we're seeing in such rare champions like resistance on Shuri. I want to see it on more champions because it's a very powerful ability.
Yeah, I agree. Um, is there a champion that you would like to see buffed?
So I know everybody says Groot most of the time,
Yeah.
but I've played
Groot,
video games for a long time. And I love all my people out there who have their max sig natural Groots. I'm coming. I'm almost there. You know, the featured wasn't that kind to me either. But generally, I think every game needs to have a champ that's not great. Because how do you know what's good without bad? You know, I played MFF, like I said earlier, and I believe it's still Hulkling in that game. But he's been a meme character since I played, and that's a really long time ago. And you know, he just never got buffed as far as I know. I think that's important because you need a bad to scale against the good. I feel like it's unfair it's Groot, and I feel like it should be probably like a trophy champ. That's like by far the worst because it feels really bad when you spend money or save up, really work hard and pull a 6-star Groot when you really need a different champion because it's level up and you have nothing and you never get to level up. And I get it. But generally, I think it just should be one of the Cyclopses, if not both.
Yeah.
Just doesn't make sense why they're so bad. Like,
give us the
I mean,
Magneto treatment.
yeah, and I mean, I personally think that who is it? Is it Forbidden who has the rank 4 Cyclops? Somebody has a rank 4 Cyclops.
Oh goodness.
Kelly, maybe?
I've
Yeah,
seen
is.
it.
It's Red Suit, right? And he uses it with the Icarus synergy. And I hunted Cyclops and Red Suit Cyclops and was so happy on Cyber Weekend our week I was able to pull him. And he is amazing with that synergy. I can only imagine how good he is at a high like when you max him out, high sig, all that. It must be so much fun to play. You need the full team of synergy, and it's still the damage is not anywhere near what it would be with my rank 4 Pac or any of these other champions. And he's Cyclops. You know, he should have a synergy with APOC because they shared a body at one time. He should have synergies with a lot of these characters. He's a very important character. Even if they want to move the focus away from him, because Scott's had the lead for a long time, I feel like then I would pick the other one would be similar. How is Phoenix? She's great. And I really like her with the new Absorbing Man synergy. No, Zemo or Absorbing Man? Do you guys know which one has the new synergy?
With who?
With Phoenix. Phoenix?
It was Zemo, stealing my shtick.
Zemo. Yes. And it's it's super exciting. I've seen some videos from some creators. It's really cool looking. I feel like she should be stronger. It's the Phoenix.
Absolutely.
She's literally the Phoenix, and she's fought not Jean version, but the actual Phoenix Force has fought all the characters we're playing against. Like she's fought Galactus. You know, she's fought all these people at different points and won at times. There's very few that can beat her. So, yeah, I'd love to see her get brought up to her proper queen status, I guess.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, who do we have? We had the champion designer on the podcast, and he was like, "I want to touch Phoenix and go back to her," and I was like, let's get it to happen.
Honestly, I've had a little bit of a soft spot for her. I'm gonna call him out again because what I do is I love Rich the Man's videos. He used to do these incursion videos. I don't know if anybody else remembers. He would go in and teach you, kind of show you what these champs can do in incursions. He went in with Phoenix. It's a really fun video. I like to go into incursions now and solo with her. She really is fun. It's a cute little team. She does some really good damage. They've really shown her some love, but I'm tired of these older champs getting only kit fixes through synergies. That's fine to bring them up if they're a good champ, but you need to put more work into making them feel a little more powerful sometimes. And Phoenix definitely needs more love, I think.
Yeah, I mean, she's got one of the highest PIs of the cosmic class.
Yeah.
But that shouldn't even be the punishment anymore. Like I get that, but Rag doesn't have that punishment anymore.
Yeah.
From because Thor Rag's damage.
Right.
Anybody who has a problem with them, fine. But again, I'm going to say another creator, Karate Mike's got these crazy videos. I'm still trying to awaken mine because I can't wait to rank him to rank 4. I'm going to enjoy that champion's damage because that stun lock looks fun.
Yeah, I mean, I've got him as a. I don't know if I have him as a 6-star. But I've definitely got him as a 5-star, and I cannot wait till I take him up, see what he really does. I do have him as a 6-star. I need to.
Yeah, those synergies look fun, and throw more Asgardians in, and let's keep bumping that guy up synergy wise. And the kit fix was nice. He's a good champ.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah. Jay, you got anything else over there?
Yeah. So, obviously you've been kind of like responding to every time the wish list. They have their games. Like obviously I wrote Abigail Brand's thing, and we had a little like guess who it is. What gravitates you to replying to the wish list and being engaged with the wish list for the MCOC?
I mean, I've been having ever since I was a kid. I've been a big comic book fan, and there weren't a lot of people. Like I mean, I'm almost 40, so I'm not super old, but I'm not. I remember a time before the MCU and before there were comic book movies, and like I remember when Super Mario Brothers came out and killed video game movies for a while. So, I mean, I remember being called a nerd and a geek in a mean way, and like I remember before it was chic to be a geek, from like Big Bang Theory, like comics became cool, but not in like the real way that they're cool, but in like the pop culture way that they're cool, where, haha, look at them. It was more, I had my friends, some of my friends played D&D. I've been posting them, but I collect Marvel cards when I was a kid.
I saw those.
Video games, and bless you, honey. Sorry, my wife sneezed. Yeah, I played video games in my basement with my friends. It was that. And now that wish list has become kind of the thing I wish that I had when I was a kid. It's kind of a moment where we all kind of come together and go, I remember that. Or, who is that? Oh, good job, guy. Because that's the stuff I wished I could do when I was younger. There wasn't that community. And I had a kid a couple years ago, like 18, 19 months, actually, almost exactly 19 months, 2 days. And he's kind of changed things around because, now I'm excited. Before there was a little bit of jealousy. On ownership, I'm happy for the new stuff they're creating, and every new generation's getting all this new stuff. It's super cool. Let them have it. No ownership. But I was jealous because I didn't get it when I was young, and now I get to get it for my kid. I'm super excited. So the wish list is like that for me. It's this moment where a bunch of us, in quotations, geeks, come together and like, it's really cool that you guys do it because it's fun and hard sometimes. Super hard sometimes. I'm really proud of the rose. I'm really proud of that one.
That was a good one. Like, he showed it. El Gabarino the other day showed it to him, and he was like, "Do you recognize this off the first glance?" And I was like, "Not at first glance." It was like 3 a.m. when he sent it, and then you answered it. I was like, "Oh yeah, that's who it is."
No, I'm not going to say anything else besides it was first glance, but it wasn't for any other reason than at that moment I remembered the animated series Spider-Man, the like one time you see him, and he's literally in that suit fixing his rose with the mask on.
That's
and
cool.
I'm like, oh, that's what that is. And I was like, it's this. And then I looked it up and I'm like, it's this. And I posted the picture. I'm like, I figured it out, guys. And it was pretty quick. I was proud of that. But yeah, this
Uh,
is it's a super cool thing that you guys have done, and um, it's like a fun experience to get to participate in. It's a bunch of us all guessing and having fun.
Well, I am glad you like it because, the wish list always needs more people, and we want to ask you if you'd be a part of it to become an editor.
Oh, that's amazing. I would love to.
That's
That
awesome to hear.
sounds awesome. Thanks. That's really cool.
Yeah, man, we'll get you on the Twitter chat, get you the login, and you can be part of the wishlist family. I'm excited to have you on.
Thank you. I'm excited to be brought in. This is going to be really fun.
Awesome.
Heck yeah. Speaking of what is it? It's not really wish list stuff, but whenever you sent the wish list link, it posted a picture of the state of the battle realm map. Do we know if we're gonna get a new state of the battle realm map for next year?
We do not know. It's kind
Yeah,
of
I
like
think we had talked about that earlier this week, actually, right?
yeah. Um, I yeah. There's nothing official said about it. Last year it came out in April. Well, actually, it came out twice last year. It came out January 1st and April. So January 1st we got the roadmap part one, and then April hasn't come yet. So I'm assuming April we'll get something for sure.
Okay.
And that
All
roadmap
right.
still fills like all of the end of this year, so it fills up a lot of spaces.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. You got anything else, Jay?
Um, yeah. So let me check. Okay, there it is. Okay, so I wanted to get your opinions on the MCU. Obviously, we have Quantumania. What are you most hoping for?
So I've been a bad Marvel fan for a bit. Not in a fan way. I'm a big keep going and making it, but I had a kid, so movies became hard to watch. No time. But during the last setup of our place, which was setting him up into his own room, I was able to binge all of the Disney Plus shows and everything up to Eternals. That was great. There were some misses in there for me, definitely, but generally, I was super into all of it. Falcon the Winter Soldier, I want that movie to be great. That show just wasn't it for me. I like the characters, it just wasn't it for me. I needed more, but
Hmm.
that movie better. I think it's going to be fantastic because I'm super into Sam being Cap. Like
Yeah.
that's actually one of the parts in the comic I really like. Is I like Sam Cap in the comics. It was a cool part, and his costume's awesome, and Red Wing's awesome, so it's cool. Um, but generally, I think that they're gonna hit a new peak. Like it feels like it feels like Spider-Man, and then they kind of stumbled. Just from what I've heard, because again, I haven't seen him yet, so I'm about to start, and I'm really excited. And you guys will all see this on
Cool.
Twitter, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
Wakanda Forever just came out, so you have like everything in between.
exactly. So I mean, we've been 1 month and a bit in our new place, and I am just now at the point where the kid's sleeping through the night. So it looks like it's time to actually start setting up the home, setting up the offices and everything. So while that's happening, binge time's happening, and I'm super excited. But this new stuff, just seeing Kang and knowing, I don't know if anybody else has noticed this. I'm gonna guess Jay, you probably have, and any other person who's really, really into like the deep comic lore. But it seems like the Marvel universe is following a lot of stuff that the MCU is following a lot of stuff that already happened in the comics in some ways. Like we had the King Dynasty in a very cool way,
Hmm.
and um, I won't say it's not. It's very similar, but they're leading to it. I wouldn't doubt we see a different suit come up. Possibly a Silver Centurion might show up because that was kind of one of the things during a major arc that involved Captain Marvel and all these other characters that do exist now. So I do think that like we're in for a peak. Avengers is probably one of the most resilient as we've seen franchises at this point. Like I say Avengers because they make a lot of money and they keep doing it. So I'm just hyped because we're starting to get closer to one of those. We're getting another Captain America, and this new. I'm a big Ant-Man fan, so the new Ant-Man movie looks incredible. I think we might see him get his face beaten in a little bit by Kang, which I like Paul Rudd. It's gonna make me sad.
Yeah. I was just talking to Mr. King. I was like, I feel like someone's gonna die by the end of this movie. It's gonna be
I feel
so
like there's
sad.
someone's gonna die. I feel like someone's gonna die. I feel like I have a feeling I know who's gonna die. I'm not gonna say it, but I have an opinion. I think we all have a guess, and one I might post my guess at some point, but I will not say.
Okay.
I will not say.
Yeah.
It's a sad one, but I think we all have one that we guess.
I don't know if I have a different guess probably.
I don't know if Paul Rudd's gonna make it.
Really?
Oh,
Uh,
really? That's not
yeah,
my guess. I'll say
that,
that straight up. I think
that's
Paul's
my
in it for
guess.
a long haul.
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
agreeing with
really?
that.
Okay. All
I
right.
love Paul Rudd, and he is. I might be cheating, but I think he might have signed a five-picture deal recently.
Yeah, that is cheating. I'm kidding.
Because I think that he might have signed the new
I'm not
contract because he's
saying
the new
no.
face of
Okay,
it.
I'm not saying that he's gonna be like done for good. I'm just saying that this universe,
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a
we'll
great
see
idea.
variant Ant-Man's die. I think for sure.
yeah,
That's a very cool idea, and I want to see that. There's a. Have you guys ever seen this YouTube channel Death Battle?
Yes.
So I love Death Battles, and I've been watching them since they started. And one of the ones that recently I thought about while trying to explain to my wife who King is and what he can do is actually used a death battle as an example because she watched it. And it was the one where Reverse Flash fights Goku Rose, or Rose, I guess is how you properly pronounce it. Um, and the fun part is once the fight gets to a certain point, they literally just start killing each other at different points in time.
Hmm.
I just feel like we're going to see a lot of that happen to, like, kind of like Dormammu I've come to bargain, except every time he's mad, he's just going to hop in and kill a variant Ant Man, which might be funny and sad.
yeah. That's yikes. um, but yeah, we've got what else do we have? Do we have anything between that and Guardians?
Secret Invasion.
Oh, okay. That's a
That's going to be a big
series,
one.
right?
Yeah, it's a series.
It's going to be a big thing, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Like, that's going to reset a lot. That and the Kang stuff is going to be, it's their hard rewrite. We've made some mistakes here and there last year or last couple of years. There's a solid chance we're going to see some people come back as variants. I know that, right? So that's going to be big. It's going to be a big show. I think everybody should watch that show. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully, Abigail Brand being Amelia Clark, you know, played by her. Hopefully, bringing sword, give her a mutant. Pretty sweet.
Yeah. Um, what then we've got Guardians. Hopefully, we'll see some more. We'll definitely see some Adam Warlock in Guardians. Um, it definitely feels like we're gonna lose somebody in that movie too,
Yeah, I mean,
which
yeah,
sucks.
James has already
Yeah.
confirmed.
Yeah.
I'm not, I was, I kind of wish the director wouldn't have said that, you know?
I think from the trailer you can also tell too, because you have like Star-Lord where he's like screaming out of pain, like losing someone. We'll see. We'll see what
Yeah.
happens. It's one of two Guardians. I feel like we know that, just because also looking at who signed deals for the future movies.
Hmm.
Of course, yeah. And I'm really excited, I think that the problem was people expected everything to be Endgame, Infinity War. I think we're at the point where expectations have been tempered again.
Yeah,
I think that's good.
I think with them, they basically said Ant-Man's going to be an Avengers level movie, so I think that expectation of Infinity War Endgame hopefully should really play into to getting people back into that mindset of at least enjoying it that way. I think would be pretty sweet.
Yeah. Um, I can't wait for people to really start talking about these movies again. I can't wait to see some of these things and
Yeah.
and actually just experience it for myself.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of X-Men coming back? We're gonna get
Uh,
X-Men soon.
Oh, finally. I hate
uh,
that it's so long though
Abigail's
from now.
coming, so
you know what
but
I'm
Abby's coming
really
and Secret
excited for?
Invasion's coming.
Yeah.
They
I'm
might be
more.
there.
I think might be more excited for the animated series that's coming out.
That is so much closer. So I can see why.
Yeah. Well, that's very exciting.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's kind of what I'm looking forward to. X-Men. What is it? 97.
97. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
I watched that. I
My
binged that show
childhood.
so much.
That's my childhood right there.
Dude,
It's my ringtone.
Every time we post a GIF from there, every single person posts. I can hear this. I can
Yeah.
hear this GIF in my head, and we all do.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um. What else? What else you got over there, Jay?
Um. Okay, so I wanted to pick your brain on the DCU because we got announced the Gods and Monsters.
Oh
How
boy.
excited are you as to see the DCU?
Um. So I'm a big fan of DC Comics. I grew up. That was my comics. I was talking about earlier tonight on Twitter again. Uh, DC Comics is about fantasy. It's there's a great quote actually that was used in a death battle. It's one that Goku versus Superman. Excuse me one second, I'm gonna cough. I don't want to be rude, so just give me one
All
second.
good. They better make DC good again. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Um. Yeah. I just couldn't. I could never really get into like the DC movies and stuff. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
They just never really connected to me.
I agree, man. We had
The movies are
Smallville, and then
hard.
anything after just didn't live up to it.
Well, the
Yeah.
movies and taking that is, as I said, it's hard, right? Because it's fantasy. It's more. It's the quote is that Superman will always beat Goku because Goku's whole point is he breaks his boundaries, but Superman has no boundaries,
Yeah.
and that's the point of the DC universe. The DC universe is everything's cosmic. Even the street fighters, like the people who are on the street, they deal with Darkseid on a regular basis. It doesn't make sense. Why? Batman beats Darkseid. He does. He
Right.
beats him. How? Marvel
Time.
Universe is much more. We look at him and we go. We see Cap stand there and look at Thanos in Infinity War, and we feel what he feels. He's Captain America, and he stops him, and we go, "That's why he's better than us." Because we couldn't physically do that. We don't know if we're brave enough. But he's scared in the DC universe. You don't really see that. They're always better, and that's what it's for. And my issue was I wasn't a Snyderverse fan. I'm gonna say that I don't think my DC superheroes shouldn't be swearing and all that. Like if they're gonna, that's fine. Modern them up. That's cool. Keep it modern and let's make it for a new generation. Sure. But at the same time, like Batman doesn't use guns. Like it's not part of his character. It doesn't make sense. Like there's trauma, and I'm someone who's very well versed in trauma, and it's just something that doesn't make sense. So Snyderverse kind of felt uncomfortable to me. The new stuff, I'm just really excited that we're gonna get some Green Lantern stuff
Yeah.
because he was when I was a kid, I had a Green Lantern ring. That was like the thing I got for one of my birthdays, and I wore that as often as I could. Coolest superhero, come on, he makes anything. He just has to have the willpower. I mean, that's so cool. That's a really cool power that every superhero has at some point now. Like, how many people can make things out of hard light? It's such a common power, but like Alan Scott, Hal Jordan, John Stewart, those were like the OGs. So, we're getting a show. That's so exciting. And I'm okay with whatever Batman stuff that happened. I'm excited for Superman. I think Cavill was good. Again, I didn't like the Snyderverse, but I thought Cavill was a good Superman. Terrible Clark Kent, but Good Superman. He felt otherworldly, right? Like
Yeah.
he had this. He's better than us. He's a kind of a god among us. I mean, The Witcher. Everybody's seen the way the guy looks. He looks like he's better than me. I mean, he is. He knows he is. We both know he is, and I'm okay with it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. 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 Do you have anything in your chat there, Jay?
Yeah, if anyone wants to ask some questions,
Anybody has any questions for Knullspace here?
Knullspace, the
What
King in
up?
Black.
But
King
other than
in
that,
Black.
do you have anything you want to plug before we answer the last couple questions?
Support your favorite content creators. I don't know. I don't have anything to plug. I don't do anything. I'm
Hey, the
just a
wish
guy on
list.
Twitter. But on yeah,
Where
support
can
the
people
wish
follow
list,
you?
guys. You know, it's here to make the game and the community more fun. To come hang out and answer the questions and vote and do all that stuff. But generally, yeah, definitely check out all the cool artists in our community. We have a lot of really cool artists and pay them for their services and buy their stuff, and also watch the videos and like them and subscribe to all those people, like these two on the channel here and all the other people, and check out Sarge's uh, mediocre guide. It's very helpful. But yeah, I mean, I don't have anything else to plug. I have the best alliance. Go the Shadow Power. They're awesome. Go guys. That's it. Is no space from the city? It's coming from space. No, no space is because I have a Discord channel called Null's Place. So I thought it was
There you go.
hilarious to be Null's
Ah.
Space.
Very nice.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna be it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks everybody for hanging out and yeah, chatting with us. And thank you, Knullspace, for taking the time out of your Saturday evening. I want to
Thanks
thank
for having me,
Jay
guys.
for streaming us live on the YouTubes.
Yes, sir.
And thanks, chat, for keeping us busy.
Bye.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.